What is up, Lost World crew? We're out here, Nevada. Just down there is the town of Mina. And we were actually going to the Mina Mercury mine, but just yesterday they had crazy thunder, lightning, and flash flood warnings. So we were heading up that road, and about 4.5 miles to the point that you get to turn to the Mina cabin and mine was completely washed out. And I mean like 4-foot big old vertical gashes in the road, multiple. We made it over a couple, and then it just kept progressively getting worse. So we turn around and we'll wait for some more 4x4 guys of them to push the road to get back up in there. And for reference, literally on the other side of this peak here is the Mina mine. On the east side, and it seems like that's where all the rain dumped, because now we're on the west side and it's pretty dry. The road coming up here was pretty gnarly, but wasn't washed out. It was just rocky and bumpy. But we saw this on the map and decided to see if we can make it, and we did. This is the Belle mine, and it's mainly surface workings. Back in the day there might have been some adits up there, but all we got now is their old mill. That's kind of cool. I thought that was a mine. I'll show you guys what it is when we get up there. But there was a dumping point, and material would run in through a crusher, or a feeder through a crusher on a conveyor, run down and get into this mill. But let's head in and we'll work our way from the bottom and go up. Now when I get home, I'll put what they were mining here. I don't really know what they were mining. I know there was a lot of scheelite mines in this area, and I'm wondering if that's what this was, but who knows till I look it up. But yeah, just coming in. Let me get a light real quick. All right, before we look at the trommel, let's head over here. And something I noticed about this place that's a little bit different than the ones I've been to is they literally stripped everything out of here. Even some of the old machinery is gone. We come in here, looks like they had a parts rack, different bolts and nuts that they would need for fixing stuff. And then they got their hot point refrigerator with 2-liter bottles of water. Used to be soda. And then we got now don't judge me, I can't read, Mana Talk Sub-Zero. Keep some cold drinks. Keep the lunch in here so we wouldn't have to go down to the cabin. And we're starting a little ways up. There's a cabin down below and a little machine shop down there. Powerhouse kind of thing. But this looks like just kind of a, what is this? An oven? Yep, an oven. So they could just do everything in here. Grab their food out, heat it up. Grab a cold one, work on the machinery. Torque Guard Supreme Engine Oil, John Deere, 10W20. But yeah, it would have been all their fuses. Coming over so they'd be feeding it down. They said I'm thinking there used to be a rock crusher up there. It's gone. It would get fed out on a belt, come down, run into this guy, which looks like some kind of trommel system that would separate larger rock and the smaller rock, and then be sent in here to this fat trommel. This thing would spin. The size rock that they wanted would fall out of this screen here, come down, get fed out, run down here, go through a float. It looks like some kind of chemical float. Some kind of flotation separating machine. Stuff they'd wanted would float out, be sent down, and come out right there to a truck or something. There used to be other stuff in here too. As you can see, stuff would come out through the bottom, so maybe there was a secondary float rig here. Yeah, it would come out right there. Pretty rad though. Little belt driven right there. Coming back up, we'll go out. So large trommel, which is this guy. That's the small trommel in front. Like I said, they took literally everything. And so all the stuff they wanted would come out, go down there. Large waste rock that didn't fall through that screen would come up on this conveyor, which is now falling apart. And it would work its way up here. Jeffrey Coles self-aligning all bearing. There's probably a motor right here that would be spinning and turning this this belt here. Big old chain, and it would just feed off all their waste rock. And then maybe they had like a front loader and they just peeled it off the edge here, getting it out of its way. Pretty new lights. Said when I get home I'll put it in the top year and what they were mining. We just pinned a mine after we couldn't get to the mina and came over. Didn't have the service up on the mountain, so couldn't really do any research. And then over here they would have more parts, fittings. It's pretty cool. It's whatever they needed to work on there. Looks like they had tools hanging up here. Yep, that's pretty cool. You can see the design of what went there. You can see their wrenches or vice grips or whatever those are. Wrenches. I don't know if this camera's picking it up. That's pretty cool though. Let's see what else they got. If there's any more drawings. That's pretty rad. See if I missed any. Yep. Some pliers, needle nose. Pretty cool. All right, let's head up and I'll show you where they were dumping all the ore and where I think there might have been a rock crusher. All right, headed up the ladder. Steps. First part's a springboard, just held on by some bolts. Big old fatty lizard. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? He's hiding all the gold. Alright. Now we're up here. It says blasting. Now I thought this would have been the mine entrance, but they had some kind of grizzly gate up above. It's now all filled in. And they would dump it down into this feeder, which would come down. Like I said, I don't know what would have been here. They cut it and took it. So maybe it was like some kind of crusher of some sort. So it'd feed in, crush, and then the conveyor would go out. To this point, dump in, and go down into those trommels. And it looks like they had some water coming in here to give it a good flow rate going down. Yeah, when I first came, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be a sick mine entrance, but yeah, it's just a feeder. Looks like it has some kind of shaker thing. It would be shaking to get all the material to feed out. Like I said, something was here, they cut it, and all I could think was some kind of crusher, but I don't know. Like I said, right above there would have been, there's the road, comes right across. It's completely filled, you can't see anything, no old remnants, but there had to have been like some kind of grizzly gate that fed this old girl right here. So we're gonna work our way up. I'll show you what that stuff is, and then we'll go up to the mine area, which, like I said, it's just surface workings. Maybe back in the day there was some adits, but now it's just the whole wall's gone. So catch you over there. So looking down at the mill, the trucks would come up, back up to right in this location, dump the material, and it would run in. And over here, we have a dump trailer. Just the bed of a dump truck that's left over. And we got a flipped little trailer as well. So, well, could have been this guy backing up, dumping the ore they wanted to process. A little pull behind trailer that's flipped. Doesn't look like it was a dump trailer, just looks like a normal trailer. Ammo can that they've fastened on. And then we got this like hopper feeder, something that would go to a conveyor. But this is cool, it would feed in. And there's some kind of feed unit that would feed the ore down in and out. Old water tank. Okay, time to head up there now. As you can kind of see, it's just surface workings, just tearing away that wall. We'll catch you guys up there. Alright, to me this looks like an old feed site. Trucks would back up, dump. There's probably some kind of grizzly, whatnot, and it would feed down. Maybe even go across the road at some point and down to that mill section. Like I said, a lot of stuff that was here has been removed and taken. So It's all a puzzle. But you can see the box that it would be dumped into. Tons of material around it. But that's where we're going right there. There's like a little classifier that's sitting there. So I'll turn you guys on when we get up there. Alright, we should just be getting up to her. But it's warm, real humid. We're at almost 8,000 feet and it's 92 degrees. And got some thunder cells building. So, real sticky. And it's crazy because right on the other side, the high today was 80. Difference of being on a south aspect, facing aspect. It's hot. But yeah, and this is what it really is. There's 4 levels, 4 tiers, just like this, working on the face. I said, I don't know if at some point it went in and it has collapsed, like maybe there. That almost looks like they were just scooping, or if they were just chunking away. But yeah, man, it looks like there's like a little classifier here they'd have up, and they could shake it. I don't know if there's a motor that was hooked up to it, or if they just shake it by hand and see what they were working with. Kind of cool. But I ain't gonna go. I've already hit all 4 of those earlier, and they just get smaller and smaller as they go up. It just looks like a bunch of shell. I don't know. Like I said, I'll look up what this mine, what they were mining. All I can think is maybe something with tungsten. Probably way off, but that's what I'm thinking. But cool. So we're gonna work our way back down. I'll show you where their powerhouse was, and then the old cabin. And that's all she wrote for the Bellevue mine. Epic canyon, tons of chucker down in the bottom, down there. There's 3 springs down there, so there was, I don't know, we drove past like 60 chucker. Pretty cool. All right, I'll see you guys by the powerhouse. All right, getting to their powerhouse, I believe. First thing we come across, smokeless powder for cannon. Contract number blah 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 blah. Can't read the rest. And we don't know what this is. I'm trying to figure it out. It looks real heavy. Some kind of water thing. No idea. This used to be like a shack, and it had their generator motor in it. Some other machinery. A little shop. It's all falling apart. Looks like some kind of rock crusher, I think. But they got the Westinghouse generator right here with a diesel motor. Their firing order. Pretty rad. It's like an old seat. This side looks cool. We got it over here. Throttle. I don't know. Excello Detroit. Pretty rad little motor and generator. Yeah, let's head down and look at the cabin. Yeah, this guy always follows me. He's always ending up in the same place as me. Just sitting there. Old shell to a truck, square body. Pretty cool. And then this little cabin. There's a bathtub somewhere right over here. There's the bathtub. There's the bathtub. Still got some nice water in it. Nope, no soap. We'll just have to make a salve out of sage. And I used to have some kind of tool bin or parts outside. And then, yeah, here it is. The life. One little bed. Everything's been stripped out. It's real musty in here from all the rain. But yeah, that's gonna do it from the Bellevue mine. Hope you guys dug. We'll try again to get to that Mina mine someday, but the road was just too bad. But like always, love your adventure. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.